Hello everyone, my name is Jen and welcome to the Book Refuge and welcome to a book haul. The last one I think I did for a live show, which those are really fun, but sometimes it's nice to have them on my regular channel too. Sorry, of course, as I start filming, my hair starts bothering me, so let's lock that down. But I have some books that I mostly bought with my Christmas money. I got given a significant amount of book buying money for Christmas, and I've been kind of doling it out slowly as I thought of the books I really wanted to use it for. And I feel pretty good about it. I still have some of it left too, but I'm kind of saving it for some new releases that are coming soon. But let's go ahead and dive in. As usual, I don't even know how we are segmenting these. I don't know what's happening. Some of these are gifts. A lot of them are ones I bought for myself, but let's go ahead and dive in. Let's start with what I have some that I'm really excited to show, so we'll start with those. So I recently had Tiffany Roberts on my channel. They wrote the Spider's Mate trilogy, which is probably my favorite alien romance that I've ever read, and I'm really happy for the people who've been brave enough to try it. I get people who slip in my DMs and they're like, so, I don't like spiders. Will I like it? And I'm like, I hate spiders. People don't believe me. I hate spiders. Spiders and snakes in real life are the most disgusting things I've ever read. But a real spider isn't this large and sexy and wanting to breed me, okay? He doesn't, so we're okay. But I also found out, because of this live show, which one of the people who watched that live show happened to be the cover designer for Tiffany Roberts. For most of their most recent books, they have done these covers. So this person, Sam, she messaged me and said, hey, I actually live about 20 miles away from where you live. And I was like, girl, please, let's go have coffee together. So we did. And she was just absolutely wonderful. Honestly, it was so great to get to meet someone who lives close to me, who loves books and weird books as much as me. So first I'll show you these, and then I will show you what she brought me, because she brought me a piece of art that I literally wanted to cry. So these are beautiful. And then Sam actually signed my books for me just here. I hope one day to get to meet Tiff and Rob in real life and have them sign them too. So there's Ensnared. There is Enthralled. And there is Bound, which is a big one. And then Sam brought me an art print of this, which is one of her pieces that she's done. This is kind of like a wedding dress for Ivy. So I literally want to get this framed, but I still do have guests come to my house sometimes, so I don't know. We'll figure it out. But yeah, I have these 3 now for my collection, and I'm so happy about it. It just makes me so happy. So, continuing on, let's keep going with some stuff. So, Gianna Darling, she has these, the Women of the Fallen covers for the Fallen Men, and now I didn't own all of them. I actually, behind this, I'd only owned 2 I had Welcome to the Dark Side and Dead Man Walking in the original cover. And so when these designs started coming out, I was like, these are the ones that I want. I want these. So this one is After the Fall, which has Cress on it. There is Inked in Lies, and then Dead Man Walking. So now I will be able to put the whole collection together, and I'm very excited about it. So I got these for myself, and these were a trouble to get because Amazon was having issues with books this winter. It was very frustrating, but there are those. Then I got this one used because we're going to be reading Topaz for Rake Appreciation Society. I am still on the lookout for one of the original covers of this. This is one of the ones that's out of print, but there was, I can't remember if this was an anniversary edition. I think this was an anniversary edition of it. But I mean, I'll have the book at least, so that's great. And if I'm lucky enough to find the 1997 version, I will snap it right up. So beautiful. I'm so excited to read more Beverly Jenkins. Then I just bought these because I've heard great things about Grace Calloway, so I want to get the Mayhem in Mayfair series. So here's the first two, Her Husband's Harlot and Her Wanton Wager. There's this group that I'm in on Facebook that is a spicy only. It only allows spicy books that are historical romance. So that means they're like 3 chili peppers or more, and they have a bunch of like things about what makes it 3 chili peppers or more, and Grace Calloway comes up all the time. So these books I like too because these actually originally came out in like 2011, so these are like 10 years old. Yeah, these books are like 10 years old, and I'm pretty sure these must be like reprints of those or whatever, but I'm very interested to try some of hers, and most of her audiobooks are on Anyplay, so I'll definitely do that and like listen to them. Then I grabbed Bed of Flowers by Erin Sady. So I had this book and its sequel on my my wish list because I just love the covers. I have no idea what these are about. I really don't. But someone gave me book 2 as a gift, so I was like, well, I better buy book 1 because I just love this cover. Yeah, so I'm very excited. Very excited to try it. It's beautiful. Then I bought physical copies of the first 2 books in the Seducers. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll know that I did have the 3rd book as well, which is Hugo and the Maiden. But Amazon sent me the wrong cover for that one. These books were recovered. They used to have a bit cheesier covers on them, which is fine when they are indie published, but they recently were recovered with these more like clinch covers, and these 2 came with the correct covers, but Hugo and the Maiden came with the old one, so I had to return that, and I'm gonna wait a while and try to reorder it. But these are the Seducer books by S.M. La Violette, which also writes as Minerva Spencer. I'm working my way through Minerva Spencer's backlist because I would eventually like to have her for an interview, so I'm trying my best. But I really, really love these books. I read these in December and January, I think, because I think I read this one in December, but I know I just read this one in January. So anyway, I love these covers so much, and I loved the series too. This one is a virgin hero who's a vicar, and our heroine who used to own a brothel, or she is an owner of a brothel. And then Joss and the Countess, this is an older woman, this is a bodyguard romance, and he also used to be a male escort, and now he is a bodyguard and servant for the Countess, and they start an affair together. That is very delicious. Then I also bought myself, and I'm actually going to be rereading this series. It's on my list of books I want to reread because I read this series. I double checked. I thought I read it at the beginning of 2021, but I actually read it at the beginning of 2022. And that is the Kane Trilogy by Stylo Fantôme. It starts with Degradation. This is a, man, how do you even describe this book? I mean, it's a billionaire romance is probably a good way to say it, but it also was like he used to date her sister, and they actually, when she was younger, like slept with him when he was still with her sister, and then that really kind of like broke up her family, and now she runs into him 7 years later. Is it 7 years later? And he still wants her this time later. So there's Degradation, Separation, Reparation, and then there's a little short that is Completion that has some shorts in it. And I remember that these books, I was trash for these books. Like, they weren't 5-star reads for me. They were like 3.5 and 4-star, but they were just so addicting. And they were kind of the first books I read that had like the degradation kink in them. I hadn't read books like that before, and you know, there's just something about like popping your cherry with that kind of story where it just intrigues you for the future, and that's what these were for me. So I just wanted to buy them, and so I did with my Christmas money, and we'll see how I feel. We'll see how I feel upon rereading them. I also finally got myself Mr. Garcia by T.L. Swan. This is a thick bitch. This was her most recent indie published release. So Casanova is published with Montlake, which is Amazon's publisher, so it's not like technically like indie published or anything. And then Mr. Garcia was her book that came out last year. That was indie published. And Ferreira is coming in February, and I'm very excited about it. But yeah, this one, Mr. Garcia, was quite the ride. Like, this book is a thick bitch. It's like almost 600 pages. And I just had put off buying it, but now I got it in my hands and I'm ready to add it to my collection. But yeah. This one was an age gap. And there's a time jump in this, which is not my favorite thing, but T.L. Swan, man, she just sucks me in. She sucks me in. I bought myself Kidnapped by the Pirate by Kira Andrews. This one's been on mine for a while. This is a historical gay romance between a grumpy older pirate who's ready to get out of the game and this young man named Nathaniel who he ends up kidnapping to hold for ransom, and they end up having a affair, fling together. And I just love this book so much, and I finally had to own it. I don't own any of Kira Andrews yet, but it was time. It was time to add her to my shelf. Then, of course, I had to get Relentless Hunter by Maggie Cole. As you can tell, I have the entire collection back here. This is the final book. This is about Brenna and Finn, and it takes 2 decades for him to get his woman back. So talk about a time jump that's gonna break your fucking heart. But I love these two so much, and the way that Maggie Cole tells this story, the way she's laid out the lives of these characters, the way that all of the books from book 1 build up to this, it's fucking phenomenal. All of these books are on audio. All of these books are amazing. They have alpha males and mafia and sexy times, and they are heartbreakingly, absolutely beautiful. I love them so much. So much. I got myself a copy of Wild North by J.B. Salisbury. This one is such an interesting combination of stories. It starts as a survival story, and it goes somewhere else. This is book 1 in the North Brothers series. And yeah, this girl, she finds out her boyfriend's cheating on her when she's on a camping trip, and then she like falls down a hill and almost dies, and this man who's staying out in the wilderness rescues her, but he's very inconvenienced by the fact that he has to rescue her, and he lets her know that he is inconvenienced all the way through. It's quite the ride. It's very interesting. Then I did get Zodiac Academy. It was at Barnes & Noble, so I bought it. We'll see. There's a lot of mixed reviews about this, and I'm pretty sure, can someone tell me? I'm pretty sure this is a reverse harem, which has me scared. But I see a lot of people crying about it, and when I see it at Barnes & Noble, when Barnes & Noble has self-published books, indie published books there, I just have to get them. I can't stop myself from getting them, and I have a few more to show you that I got as well, that I keep seeing on TikTok, and so I buy it. And if I don't end up liking it, maybe I'll do a giveaway. But I don't have the plans for it right now because I don't have the brain space for it right now. But I do plan to do a vlog where I read like books that blew up on TikTok last year. I know everyone's done it, but I haven't done it. And people ask me to all the time. People recommend these books in my book rec form all the time. And I'm tired of saying no. I want to try them. We'll see. We'll see when I get to it. I have Bite Marks by Jenica Snow. This is actually an ARC copy of this book, which is kind of a final copy, but also not. It's signed. Jenica did some Bookstagrammer, like, influencer book boxes for this book, so I actually already read an ARC for this one. This is book 5 in the Lycan series, I think, and it's the first vampire one, so it's kind of funny because it's the Lycan series, but this one is a vampire one. And he's actually the older, he's the uncle of the Lycans that we've read previously. And I love her books because I'm pretty sure all of the heroes in the series are virgins because they only will sleep with their mate. And some of them, they won't ever find their mate. He's a virgin vampire hero who's like 150 years old. But he's a psychopath. He knows he's a psychopath because there are, certain desires and wants they're just not able to. This is it's too big situation. It's so great. And I love about it too because the heroine, because she's a human and she doesn't know that she's a vampire's mate. But what's interesting is that she kind of feels like she's asexual because she's someone's mate, not knowing she's someone's mate, her body is like not shut down, but like in, hibernation, as it were. So she's never fully like awakened sexually, so she's just thought she was asexual. Not that being asexual means you are in hibernation, but I'm speaking in terms of like, because this is a fated mate situation, the first time she ever feels fully aroused by something is when she gets a load of Adrian and she gets a smell of him, and then she's like, whoa, what's happening in my body? What's going on? And I love that shit. I love it. He gets a boner for the first time. I love magical boners. They make me so happy. So I love this. This one comes out in just a couple days. The whole series is on KU and it's delicious. And I'm so excited because the audiobook for this is coming. And Jason Clarke is doing Adrian's voice. And like, if you know who Jason Clarke is, he has like the deepest, sexiest voice you've heard. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be epic. Okay, a couple more that I bought with my Christmas money. I bought myself Come to Daddy and Lap of Luxury. They're not like a duet where they like connect. You should read Come to Daddy before you read Lap of Luxury because they like work together, but they're about different couples. So Come to Daddy, this is a sugar baby relationship where our hero, though, he actually like wants to pay her back for something that happened to her family, but he doesn't want her to know that he's like paying her back. So he finds out she's on a sugar baby website, and so then he's like, oh, well, I hired her to be my sugar baby and I'll be her sugar daddy. And then they end up really liking that dynamic, so they go with it. And then Lap of Luxury is actually about this hero's assistant and the hero's half-brother or brother. This one has primal play in it. Ooh. And kidnapping and age gap and people who are sexually turned on by violence. So just know that, but it's quite the ride. I got myself a copy of Nightwolf by Karina Halley. This one is kind of a standalone, kind of sort of book 3 in like the Dark Eyes series. It definitely connects with that series. So the way Karina says it is, you don't have to read these in order, but if you plan to read the Dark Eyes books, you should read the Dark Eyed books before you read this book because there are spoilers for the Dark Eyed books in this. That's how the author explains it. This one is actually a friends to lovers vampire romance, which is interesting. I know it's called Nightwolf. Our hero, his name is Wolf, but he's a vampire. He's a Norse, like Viking man who is a vampire, which is great. And then our heroine is Amethyst, and she works at a vampire club because some humans know about vampires, and so humans can like donate to them. And so she works the bar there. Her mother actually works there too. And her and Wolf have had this flirtation, but like they don't really push it further because they know he's a vampire and she's a human and think nothing's going to happen. This book deals with grief quite a bit, so there's that. I got myself Devil May Care. This is the 3rd book in the Poseidon series by Amelia, where did I put it? Oh, it's by Amelia Wilde. This was a modern day retelling of Poseidon, which is cool because there aren't a ton of those. I just talked about this more in a video I put out, which was retelling recommendations. So definitely give this a try. And then I got myself Burn for Me by Sarah Kate. This was a 5-star book I read last year. This is an age gap older woman. She is a college professor. He is her student. But they actually have a deeper connection because she is actually the reason that his father went to jail for a scheme gone wrong. She's a journalist, and when he goes to his first day of class and realizes that she's his teacher, he decides he wants to make her suffer for all the bad things that have happened in his life. So not the healthiest thing to do. No, it's not, but it's very hot. So this has like dubious consent and all that fun stuff in it, but I loved this book. Loved it. Then we have 2 more books that, like I said, I bought at Barnes & Noble because they were there and I had heard of them. I bought Feather by Olivia Wildenstein. Is it Wildenstein? It's hard to read it on the front. I'd seen these on TikTok. I know there's audiobooks. This is a like Romeo and Juliet with angels is what it says. And it was at Barnes & Noble and I've seen it and I'm pretty sure there's an audiobook. So I grabbed it. That's my only reason. And then I also have Savage Lands by Stacey Marie Brown. The beautiful hardcover was also at Barnes & Noble. Wow, this author's written a lot. That's cool. I liked this for the dedication. It says, to Jason Momoa, if I can't have you in real life, at least I can have you as my book boyfriend. And you know what? He's breaking up with his wife, so maybe you can really have him, Stacey Marie Brown. There you go. I believe I'm going to try to read this one for Pharaoh Feb as well, so I'm very excited about that. Will be a good time. Okay, and then I have, I have more. There's a bottom stack. I received an ARC, a physical ARC, oh my gosh, I'm so excited, of How to Be a Wallflower by Eloisa James. She contacted me on Instagram and asked if I would like to read a copy of this, and I'm freaking excited about it. I can't wait to do it. This is about Miss Cleopatra Lewis, and she's about to be launched into society by her aristocratic grandfather, but since she has no intention of marrying, she visits a costume emporium specifically to order unflattering dresses guaranteed to put off prospective suitors. So I love it. She wants to be a wallflower so that she doesn't have to get married. I like how you think, Eloisa. I'm into it. That I will also be reading in February, but it comes out in March. I ordered a copy of Descent by Sam Ariano. This was a 5-star book for me. This is very fucked up. Know what you're getting into. This is a psychopath, as she does. I have described this in great detail. I read this book for my first books of the year reading vlog that I did. I'll try to remember to link that up above. And this is a kind of a kidnapping. I don't know how to say it, but our hero Calvin is a psychopath and he decides that he wants her, and so he makes it happen. And there is rape in this. It's non-consensual sex for 70% of this book, okay? So know that. Dubious consent for some of the other ones. And there is breeding kink going on in here. There is refusing to have protected sex with her. So all those things, forced pregnancy, it's in there. It's in there. And I loved this book because I'm fucked up too. And then I did also get Wrong, but this one's by Adelaide Forrest. These are part of the Heaven and Hell series or something, and they're done by, what's it they call, Black Heart Romance, which is cool. So I want to check out the other books in this series, but these were ones that were by authors I already loved, so I was excited to have these. But there's going to be more coming out by Black Heart Romance as well, that were all, they revolve around like this club called like, what's it called? Purgatory. The club is like called, well, it's called like Heaven and Hell, and then there's like Purgatory in there. So they will all have like very like rough, dark sex in there. Then I purchased Games We Play and Secrets We Hunt by Dana Islay. These are books in the One Night series, so they're, you know, supposed to be one night stands and they like lead to more. This one is literally this woman comes to interview this gamer who's known for his sexy voice. And this one I believe is supposed to be a second chance romance. So there we go. See if I can do it. There we go. Okay. This book I got sent as a gift from my friend Tiffany. She ordered me Blind Date with a Book, which I believe you can get these on Etsy. And it came with tea and a bookmark, and it was so cute. And Tiffany sent me a note that was like, said, I wanted to send you on a bookish blind date. I hope he's swoony because the heroes you have brought into my life have brought me so much joy. Tiffany, you're so cute. I actually have read a Maggie Shane before a long time ago. This one's supposed to be 3 enticing stories. Slip into 3 enticing stories and experience the Act of Ecstasy. So definitely a very sexy cover here. So I'll have to make myself some tea and give this one a go sometime. Sounds fun. All right. Now I have some historical romances. There wasn't a ton of historical in my haul this time. That's strange. So I listened to the Fated Mates podcast by Sarah McLean and Jenn. I have been listening to it for a few years now. It's the reason I read IAD. They recently did an episode on Passion by Lisa Valdez, which apparently is like historical erotica almost. Like it literally starts with a sex scene, and they talk about this book, and it's fascinating. And it's about this widow named Passion, and she meets this stranger at the Crystal Palace, and she finds herself discreetly yet insistently pursued by a sensual gentleman who awakens her long suppressed desires. And so this is apparently like super kinky. It's like he has the biggest dick you've ever heard of, literally, and since she's able to take him, he's like, she must be the one for me. So it's like Cinderella's lost shoe, but a dick. So there we go. And then I bought the second one too, which is Patience, which I believe is her sister. And I don't even know what this one's about. But I got these both off of thrift books, and they're both in great condition. So I'm here for it. I recently went to my local thrift store because I dropped off a bunch of books. And of course, I always walk through their book section when I go there then. Which is usually pretty picked over, but sometimes I get lucky. Like I found some of my like first edition Joanna Lindsay's at this bookstore, which is great. And so I went through, sorry, I'm talking to try to talk over peeling the sticker off because I forgot about the sticker. And I found a book that I read the first 5 books in this series as they were coming out. I freaking loved them. They were by an author I really, really love. But then it was the case of like I fell behind, and when I fell behind, there was just too many books to catch up on. And that's Born of Night by Sherilyn Kenyon. This is a sci-fi romance between, it's the first book in the League series, and there's Nikirian, who's this assassin, and he gets asked to protect Kiara Zamir, who is like, her father is a political alliance member, and so she's a target, and so this is a bodyguard romance. And I remember being obsessed with this book. I thought the sex was like so spicy when I was a teenager, and I loved it so much. So yeah, I bought myself another copy. I used to have them all, but you know, I unhaul books sometimes, and then I find them again, and it's like finding them for the first time. And then to wrap this up, the last books that I got, I will just show them all at once. I probably don't have them in order, but because my friends Jessin and Crystal were blowing their way through the Bedouin Saga by Mary Balogh, who I love. I mean, I've read many of her books, and I actually own one of these just because I have bought her books before. So I bought the rest of the Bedouin Saga. So I have Slightly Married, Slightly Tempted, Slightly Sinful, Slightly Scandalous, and Slightly Dangerous. So now, and I already have the one that's black on the cover. So now I have all of those. I'm planning to start this series in February, and I can't wait. So there you go. Those are the books that I bought in the rest of December and January, and that was my book haul for y'all. So thank you so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I put up videos 3 to 4 times a week, and you can watch some more of them right now. Have a great day. Bye.